Okay, we are now going to transition into our first Connect talk, and I want to just define our terms a little bit for you newcomers in particular. Connect Talks provides a snapshot of new technologies and ideas modeled after TED Talks. For those of you not familiar with that concept, TED is a nonprofit organization devoted to, quote, ideas worth spreading. It started in 1984 as a conference bringing together people from the worlds of technology, entertainment, and design, thus TED. Here's the key. TED conferences bring together the world's most fascinating thinkers and doers who are challenged to give the talk of their lives in 18 minutes or less. For our Connect Talks, we bring together the Bay Area's most fascinating thinkers and doers, and we increase the challenge. They get half the time of a TED Talk, 9 minutes, although we may allow them a little bit of leadway, depending on, well, maybe how interesting they are. So that we can stay on track. We will not have time for Q&A after the Connect Talks, but you can certainly speak with our presenters during the break. So it gives me great pleasure to bring up our first presenter, Courtney Power with Niantic. A little over 2 years ago, a phenomenon spread throughout the United States and then around the globe as people of all ages seemed to be walking aimlessly outside, moving their smartphones in ways not imagined, and then swiping or tapping their screens furiously. Some of you in the audience may have grown up watching the cartoons or playing the games on your Game Boy. In my case, it was Atari. No, I'm really getting old now. People don't even remember that reference. And you may be among the millions that play Pokémon Go. As of May 2018, this gaming app has been downloaded 800 million times. Revenue, as reported by CNET, hit $2 billion in September 2018, with revenue this past summer at approximately $2.5 million daily from in-app purchases. While the numbers are impressive, it's the augmented reality technology developed by Niantic that is most intriguing for what it portends for the future. Courtney Power, Niantic's general counsel, will share the Pokemon Go story. Courtney.
Thank you very much. All right, you stole my statistics, so I'm going to get a little time back because I'm not going to have to give all those numbers. I'm just delighted to be here today, tell you a little bit more about Niantic and Pokemon Go, and hopefully by the time we're done, you'll understand why we think games are not only fun, it's amazing to be able to help make games for a living, but why we think they're not only fun, but that they're doing really important work for communities and for the individuals who play them. Let me give you a little bit of an overview here of Niantic. We were founded as kind of incubated, I guess, as a startup within Google. Many of us, myself included, had worked at Google for a number of years on the geo products. That's Google Earth, Maps, Street View. Our CEO at Niantic, John Hanke, was the founder of a company called Keyhole. It was acquired by Google in 2005 and later got launched as Google Earth. So a good portion of the Niantic leadership team has been playing around with maps and layering things over maps since around 2005. About 2010, John said, he actually said this, it sounds like a marketing thing, but he did say this to me. He said, we've built the map, and now I'm interested to know what people are going to do with it. And I've always loved games, and I'm getting back into games. And I thought, okay, midlife crisis, whatever, that'll work. And he went to work with a small group of folks, beginning to overlay a new type of technology over that map. Niantic's games are location-based games. We want to get people out moving around and experiencing the world around them. So if you don't know the name Niantic, obviously our marketing team has a little bit of work to do so you get brand awareness on our actual company name, but you probably do know Pokemon Go. So this app launched in July of 2016. I'm going to go to the next slide here about a little bit of the hype, what July and August 2016 felt like. The company was less than 50 people, and all of a sudden, the game had been downloaded an amazing number of times. You can see some of the crowds there, kind of a funny meme about this may be just a little too crowded. That's what it felt like in the legal department for sure. The game just really tapped some really important things. Some of that was the nostalgia around Pokemon Go. It's an amazing brand, and our partner, the Pokemon Company, has obviously created created something really special over 20 years. But what we think it also tapped is people's desire to do something different in an entertainment product, and that's to maybe get off the couch, get out from in front of the screen. I mean, they carry their mobile phone with them, but they're not really sitting alone playing a game. And that's really integral to how Niantic approaches our products. I've just got a few quick screenshots here if you're one of the few people who have not seen this product. You can see Pokemon are pocket monsters. They're these creatures. There's a set of them. People like to go out and try and collect them all, trade them. Again, this is part of the great rich IP that our partner has created throughout the years. That center screenshot is what it looks like when you've got the app open. You are this avatar and you're walking along a map. You can see those kind of blue cubes off in the distance. Those are Pokestops. They correspond to real places in the world. It might be the local library. It might be a mural. It might be a school, a park, areas that our users through the years have contributed to Niantic and said, hey, there's something really special here in my community. So again, you can't play Pokemon Go on the couch. You got to get out there. You got to walk to those places. When you get there, you'll see in the screenshot on the right, those little blue cubes all have some information behind them and a photo. And here's a site of Sojourner Truth's speech. Our users have contributed a little bit of background there about that important spot. So while people are out there trying to encounter Pokemon, they're trying to win, they're trying to level up and do all the fun things that you do in a game, they're learning a little bit about the community, they're learning a little bit about what makes this place special, and they're out actually moving through physical space. So what's augmented reality? This is something that Niantic added to the mix too. These are actually real photos. They're not kind of marketing material. These were taken by people at Niantic when we had a little internal contest. And those Pokemon appear on your phone viewer, right? You're playing the app, you look up and kind of see which Pokemon are appearing around you. And as you can see, they're kind of context aware. They're out in the forest. There's this little Krabby who's near water spots. What was really fun about this feature of the app is it popularized augmented reality, or AR, for a lot of non-technical people. They could see this and go, oh, I get it. I know what it means now. When people talk about augmented reality, that means bringing additional information, additional characters, fun experiences, and overlaying it onto the real world. Unlike virtual reality, VR, another acronym you might have heard of, this isn't something where you put on a device and get immersed in another world. There are some fantastic applications for that. Augmented reality, you are in real space and the information is overlaid on the app. Right now, this is mobile phones. We're confident that hardware providers are going to do fantastic stuff in the next few years. Maybe you'll have glasses that will seamlessly and safely overlay this information for you when you're looking out into the world. As you can see, Pokemon appear everywhere, including in the U.S. Congress. Some of you might be familiar with some of these faces. Senator Thune really does not look happy with the Clefairy little pink creature that appeared near him. I put this slide in part given this audience. You'll know that technology is disruptive, and Pokemon Go was disruptive when it launched. A lot of people were really afraid, frankly. What is this? Their kids are playing it. They're walking around in the real world. What data is being collected? How is it being used? All those important questions that have been asked about tech, particularly in this last year. We went back to DC and talked to people and said, hey, we've got a good story. We're happy to tell you, how our app works, why it's fun, why it's a way for families and communities to bond, and all the good data practices on the back end. But we thought this one was kind of fun. Pokemon really do spawn everywhere. So our Niantic mission is to use technology to build experiences inspiring users to explore the real world around them, be active, and engage in real-world social interaction. Another kind of foundational story, John Hanke, our CEO, actually did say this. He got into technology through games. Growing up in a small town in Texas, got interested in games, learned to program so that he could make games. And he saw his children doing that as well, right? They loved playing Minecraft. They loved playing all these fantastic products, but they were living in Northern California, inside in a room on a beautiful day, right? And he said, I don't want that. I don't want gaming and technology to be this sedentary and solitary activity. So we really feel like it's our mission to get people out there. As I said before, explore the world around you. Walk down that street and look at the historical plaque that you never looked at until it popped up in your game and gave you a little bit of an incentive to stop and look at that. To be active. We're not your Nike fitness app. You're not training for the marathon playing Pokemon Pokemon Go, but we know people do amazing additional amounts of exercise with slight little incentives. Maybe instead of coming home and getting right into dinner or whatever you do at the end of the workday, you grab the leash, grab the dogs and the kids, and go out there and spend 15 minutes to capture some Pokemon. And we're seeing real impact in people's fitness. Fun fact, we just calculated, this was the one statistic that you didn't steal my thunder on, is that since the game launched, our users collectively have walked the number of kilometers between the Earth and the sun. That's an amazing statistic when we know that only 10,000 additional steps a day makes real impact on health, both for adults and children. So that's really part of our mission. And real-world social interaction, social of all kinds, including that practiced by our host today, is fantastic. We want people to meet each other in the real world. This is just another, I just got a time thing here, so I'm going to zoom through some of these slides. This is just an example of one of our other games, Ingress. So it's not just Pokemon Go. Any kind of information can be overlaid over a photo. This is an example of how we work with local communities, in this case, tourism boards, to design features within our applications to get people out and about, right? This is our product called Ingress. These are mission days, and this is discovering a city through a mission. You really kind of link those points of interest together and make people move through particular paths to discover the city. This is a event that we did in Japan. This is Tottori Sand Dunes. I just think this is a fantastic photo, but also an example of the power of games to get people to places in a way that can be really helpful to local government. This was an area that wanted to spur some tourism activity. As you can see, over 3 days, they got 89,000 trainers that came. They were expecting 30,000 people. And the prefecture in Japan, where this is located, did an economic analysis and discovered that there was $18 million of economic impact on the region given that event. Real world social, we know that people like to play together. This is another example. We did a really light touch integration with some NGOs worldwide on Earth Day this year. Very simple, allowed our users to sign up, and by going and participating with those NGOs, my numbers got a little messed up here on the slide. There were 4,000 users who participated. That last one is an important one that you can see. They picked up 6.5 tons of trash along the way. Just an amazing, ability. Those NGOs, I participated one here on the Bay side, and they said it was amazing. Normally they would get maybe 10 people who would show up for Earth Day, and there were like 50. So it's just really an amazing opportunity to motivate people through games. This was a recent event. These are combined pictures in Brazil and Mexico. This was just a Saturday, right? We kind of turned the dial a little bit, and some interesting new Pokemon showed up in an area, and people came out to play together and discover the world together. I know we're not doing Q&A, so I'll just stop there and say it's just been a pleasure to meet with you guys today. We've got a number of community initiatives where we've worked with local government officials, like many people in this audience, over the last year. We partnered with the Knight Foundation, for example, to do Pokemon Go events in Knight Foundation cities, in Akron, in Philadelphia, in San Jose. We would, again, kind of turn the dials a little bit on the back end of our system and send some special or interesting Pokemon to a specific area corresponding with an existing event, an open streets event, a farmer's market event. And the impact has been amazing. And we look forward to doing more of those partnerships in the future, because to us, the games are not only fun, they're doing important work in communities, and our partnerships with local governments are one of the funnest things that we do. Thanks very much.
Thank you so much, Courtney.